totally uncalled for. But he just diagnosed me without ever looking at me, without running any tests, because I had no insurance. He just wanted to get me in, get me out, and charge me $2 grand.
Well, see, a lot of people that have insurance, so they don't see that. They just know they pay their insurance, and their insurance pays the bills. So they don't see the 7 or 8 different people who are hitting them for a charge for the same damn thing. So it's
Look,
they just don't see it. But that's what their insurance is paying for. That's why their insurance is so high.
Some of the things that Obama did in the healthcare were good, like allowing kids to stay on their parents' insurance till they're 26 and out of college.
Right.
Or pre-existing conditions being gone.
Yep.
How many people have died over the years because they had pre-existing condition? Mm-hmm. Oh, you have cancer. Well, you know what? You had that free.
We can't do nothing for you.
You got to go away.
See, that was pre-existing
condition called life.
Yeah, it's called life.
That's fucked up. That's fucked up right there.
All right, Dad, you heard all us youngsters talk about it. What do you think about healthcare?
Well, I'd like to ask you one thing here. How long do you think healthcare has even existed, as you were talking about it today?
Oh, only
since the 40s, right?
50s, 60s.
It was the 40s.
The way we've known it.
Well, the way health insurance came about.
Well, when they changed all the shit, it was like the 40s.
Before World War II, health insurance and anything else that is like that today did not exist. You went to the doctor, he told you how much it was going to cost, and you paid it or you didn't go.
Right.
That was it. There was no insurance companies. There were none
of that.
Didn't the
doctor used to come to your house?
And even that. But by the time it ended, the reason health insurance even came about, the way it exists today, is because during World War II, they couldn't give the workers that were building the planes, the ships, and all of that raises. So instead, they created health insurance.
And
with that, no. This was after that.
And with that was more money.
This was the Ford, GM, whoever that were building the actual things. Went to their employees, said, we can't give you a raise because we only get X amount of dollars from the government to do this. So instead of that, because you're doing a good job, we've got this new thing called health insurance.
Yeah.
Now when you go to the doctor and he hands you that bill, you can take that bill to us and we'll pay it. And to further go on, the Medicare was purely a baby of the Cold War at its height. And the reason Medicare ever was created by our government was because the communists at that time, the Russia, USSR, and China, Soviet China, both bragged how every citizen in their country had health care, had room and shelter, education. All of these things were guaranteed them under the communist system. And so for our competition, we created Medicare so that we could say, right, nobody said it did, Derek. What I'm saying is this is history. They did this.
Right,
our government came back, created Medicare, and said, yes, we too take care of all of our people.
Oh, right. Gotcha. And they don't.
See, basically what it was supposed to be is we were supposed to be better than the communist
countries. And now that the Cold War's ended...
How many communist countries
we're more corrupt than the communist countries.
How many communist countries today have government health care where everybody can be looked at, regardless? And everybody that says, oh, our health care system's so great.
It isn't that great.
You know what?
The doctors are pretty good, but that doesn't mean the system's great.
Well, you can't say that.
Look, as somebody who has never had health care since I got off my dad's at 18... and never had any kind of health care since then, and had to pay thousands upon thousands of hospital bills for having the flu, for having having to call into work, and when you had the flu, and they're like, well, you got to have doctors on, so you got to go to the emergency room and get doctors to say you had the flu.
I'm sick. Shit.
Well, you know, after World War II, the reason that all of our enemies countries now have better health care than we do is because when we went in there and had them rebuild it as a democracy, one of the things we told them they had to do was have health care for their people. While in this country, they hadn't even really thought about it. It didn't come around until the 60s, Medicare.
No, because everybody was making so much money back then.
When Japan was rebuilt, when Germany was rebuilt, and when Italy was rebuilt, we told them they had to have this new government, and it had to have this thing.
Do you know why? Do you know
why? Why America is such a double standard?
Do you know why he has free health care?
Do you guys know why?
Everything is a bunch of
it wasn't thought of to the 60s or 70s.
Bullshit.
Because we had unions that were giving you jobs that were giving it to you. That's why.
Right.
Once they started killing the unions off,
absolutely,
one by one, then we
how
started
was it
going,
created through the unions originally.
You know what?
World War II.
We're cutting. Then the country started saying, "Wait a minute, we're all getting cut off from our union jobs, and now we have no health care." And then all of a sudden, you have hundreds of thousands of millions of people with no health care coverage. I saw a thing on the news the other day that 17 million people in America died last year as a result of not having any health care insurance. For not having something as simple as high blood pressure medication.
Right.
For not having asthma medication.
Yeah.
For not having the easiest things that they should have.
And these same people scream about euthanasia and all of that crap.
Exactly.
They're doing it. They're just not.
And they want to talk about Obama being a socialist and taking over the country.
Right, but you gotta
well, you know what?
when
Maybe the country should be taking over.
Death panels, they were basically arguing about who gets to be on them. Like they were trying to get
right. It's all politics. It's all BS. To me, I'd rather go back to the way it was before any of that existed.
Yeah. How did we ever live?
You had direct contact with the doctor. You went to the doctor says, you got this wrong with you, I need this much money. You tell the doc, I don't have that much money. No, back then they didn't do that. Right. Back then he would say, all right, make some payments, or maybe do some work for me. Right. I mean, a lot of times that's how it was done. It was bartered. But they would at least give you, and you were dealing directly with the doctor. And if this doctor wouldn't do it for you, you could go over to this doctor.
Right. See, what the fuck?
And then insurance, which all it is a middleman for all that money.
A middleman
that needs to be going directly to where it's supposed to be going. But instead it goes through this siphon like this, and it gets a lot of it sucked off. It
goes through a loop.
For all people that are doing nothing but making money off of your money.
Off of no money. Yeah, what the fuck is that shit?
Oh my god. That's called capitalism at its best.
As long as we have
capitalism at its best, people.
As long as we
understanding something from nothing.
As long as we have profit in healthcare in this nation, it will be corrupt, and there's no way of curing that.
No way.
You have to take the profit out of it. You have to take the money out of it and put the people that want to do the job back in it.
And we'll do it. We'll fucking all do that shit.
I mean, to me, for one thing, the government, anybody that wants to be a doctor, they should pay their way in return for being a doctor that takes care of all people.
Exactly.
But this country is suffering from a shortage already because of the tremendous expense that a doctor, somebody going through a doctor, incurs.
Yeah.
You realize you're probably up close to $1 million to come out as a doctor, with the student loans the way they are.
Oh yeah.
Right. That's just absolutely ridiculous. That is absolutely insane.
They should be able to do that training cheap and fast, so we can have more doctors take care of everybody.
Yeah, what kind of society do you want?
Though, but
well, not fast, but you know what I mean.
Cheap.
They should be cheaper.
Yeah.
They should be, that kind of stuff that helps
people. The payments should be easier.
Those kind of schools and training that help people, being a cop, a fireman.
The college loans.
Army, whatever. All of which, by the way, is totally socialist.
Yeah.
Cops, army men, firemen.
Not if you're a Republican. Hey! It's the wrong side. All
right. Hold on, Steve. Hold on.
That's about it for this topic, folks.
That's a good topic.
We
can keep going on this one.
We'll be back for more.
There'll probably be a couple segments.
Yep, a couple more.
Hey, damn.
What's good? Don't worry
Hold
about
on,
it. Bring it to
I wanted to say this one last thing about the fall of the Cold War. Richard said that communist countries have that. Well, really, only the small ones, like maybe Cuba, has that. If you look at China today and even Russia, you have to pay for everything. No health care is free. The education isn't even free.
Nope.
They are more corrupt capitalists
like
than we
are.
are.
Just because they say it
doesn't mean it's fucking so.
All right, folks. Thanks for watching. That's another hot topic I'm sure we'll touch on again in the future.